Okay, we're going to talk about the stroke properties panel now, and we're going to start with the basics, the first screen that pops up whenever you open it. And I'm just going to get rid of some noise here that we don't need to be looking at and focus completely on the properties panel. So I'm just going to first start out by clicking in the workspace. That creates that little white dot that we're all used to. I'm going to zoom in on it in case you don't see it, and zoom out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on this and choose properties. Right click is like a super important button in this application. Anything you right click on, you're bound to get some kind of pop-up optional menu. So by right clicking on it and choosing properties, I've just enabled the stroke properties panel. Okay, and we're going to start out by just talking about this panel. There's so many, there's like 7 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. Okay, and then that doesn't even count like all the extras that are in here. So we're just going to start out with the basics, and that is alpha, position. Alpha, by the way, is the same as opacity or transparency. You can see as I adjust it, the dot in the workspace gets a little bit, more visible, not visible. Um, Position, you can click in here with your mouse and drag up and down, or you can type a number value in, or even adjust the slider, which really makes it move fast. Um, Anywhere you see an S is a opportunity to animate. So if I click on S here, for example, and choose animated, the first frame of this timeline, it's going to be full visible. And then if I say I come in halfway into the second and then bring it down, you can see it's created and altering that alpha property. So I'm going to turn that off though, because I don't really want that on right now. Let's talk about size. Come in here, and this is again something you can adjust for literally anything you bring into the workspace. This panel will come up and you can adjust it. Soft edge is a bit of an interesting bird. If you click, it's at 0 by default. If you click 1 in one of these, it's like complete non-soft edge. Bring it all the way up, and it's pretty much full soft edge, except it's still no comparison for 0, which is unbelievably soft. Soft to center doesn't really do anything for this object. Maybe we'll do a tutorial on that one later. Stencil does work. Basically means that whatever the object is that you're turning stencil on will only be visible if it is behind another object. So just give you a quick example of that. Let's bring in a still. We'll just grab our old color bars and drag it in here. Okay, and let's make the color bars the stencil. So if I right click, go to properties, brings up my properties for the color bar, and I turn stencil on, all of a sudden you can see what it does. What you're seeing is the color bar is only showing up where that white dot is, and so it's a stencil. Turn it off, and let's show you kind of what the white dot does. So if we send this to the back and make this guy a little, let's bring him up in size. Oh, still affecting the color bars. Let's select the dot, and I'm using this little thing here. This is real helpful whenever you have an object behind another object and you want to get to the stroke properties panel. Just use this guy. So we're gonna bring the soft edge up, and we're going to make it the stencil. Okay, and we've got to bring it to the front. Okay, so it's the stencil now. Back, only visible in the actual object. So you can see it disappears on the edge there. Whereas if it weren't a stencil, it would not disappear. See that? So that's what that is. Let's get back to the basics. I'm going to bring this down. Let's get rid of the color bars. Right clicking on it brings up that menu. We're going to delete it. Okay, so we're kind of getting back to where we were when we started. Now, that first spray tool that you're using when you bring in here, that's just the one dot right there. Okay, now it is a ellipse. So if we change that to box, it makes it a box. So it shows you here, and we're just adjusting anything about any property of this one little dot that we started with. And now it's a squircle. We can change the fact that it's a spray to, which means that, whenever you do this, it sprays it across the screen. We could make it a drag corner tool. Okay, so by doing that, I actually have to come down here. I still have the default tool in my hand when I open the app. I have to click on pick and then choose this thing that I've modified in the workspace. And you can see now it has little drag corner arrows. So anytime I use it, I bring it in and I've got drag corners. Okay, so we're just undo, 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 undo. And there's a bunch of them in here. Drag center, we'll go from the center. Drag line literally makes a line. Draw tool is a freehand draw, just like we showed earlier. Text, spline. So any tool, anything can become really anything else. Let's go down to color. So it by default is a color, the original stroke. In fact, let's take it back to an ellipse. Get it back to where it was whenever we first opened the app. Okay, bring it down. We can change the color from just a solid to a gradient if you want to. It's currently set linear. We could make it circular and bring another color in. I'm just dragging these little colors in, and you can see here what happens whenever you do that. So it looks like the sun. Very cool. You can also use any of the gradients that come with it in the colors section here, gradients, and drag and drop them in, or you can put them right on the object itself. So that's true for any stroke object. So it's a color currently. It could be a lighten tool, darken tool, monotone tool. We need to have something in the background in order to see that. Let's go back into our stills and we'll use a texture, and I'll just drag something really colorful in here. Let's go with this guy. Well, that's pretty noisy. Let's do this one. So we'll send this to the back and we're going to adjust its size. This is a great way, by the way, to choose the different objects, this little slider here. So I have two things in the workspace, and I want to make sure that this panel is updated to the thing that I'm wanting to adjust. So by dragging this, you'll see a little bounding box go around the object. And now I know I have what I want to adjust, so I'm going to bring that up in size. And now we're going to go back to the object that I want to change from color to lighten. So now all of a sudden this is a lighten tool. And it could be a darken tool. So everything it's over gets a little darker. Or a mono. So there's no color at all. So you can see here, you can go through and adjust this stuff. Some of these tools aren't going to have much effect on depending on what object you're over. So just know that this is a magnified tool here and very little adjustment. But if it were over, say, this texture, send this to the back. Oh, one too many. Let's send this one backward. Okay, so you can see now this is a magnified tool right over top of that. Okay, and you can just play around with this stuff. It's very therapeutic for hours to figure out all the different tools that are in there. Some of them will enable this little feature over here. Like if we go to color, then you can go to settings and see this color palette come up. So that is the first page of the stroke properties panel. And what we're going to do is we're going to keep drilling down on this in the next video. We'll talk about shadow and then wipes and blah 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 all the way through. So we're going to get through these stroke buttons. So that is this video, and stay tuned for the next.